Good afternoon.
Hello.
It is not the morning
It
as it typically is. It is 1:34 today. We're getting a late start. But today's a very special episode of TREKFAST because we're going to do a JJathon. We're going to watch because the new JJ or the new trilogy of the Star Trek movies has just come out with a new one. And
Star Trek Beyond.
So we're going to watch the first two before we go see that new one because it's been years since I've seen them and I don't really remember them very well.
I have not seen the second one, and I saw the first one when it came out a long time ago, so a refresher would be great.
So we're going to do a double feature. We're going to watch both of them back to back, and then at the end we're going to review both of them. And then we'll do an episode where we go see the new one. So we're excited. I haven't eaten anything today, so I'm hungry. I'm ready to get going. I went to the bakery and picked up a lemon poppy seed muffin and a croissant. And I also picked up Corey a croissant.
Thank you.
Now, Corey specifically requested that I don't get him anything sweet from the bakery. And I did put his croissant in the same bag as my lemon poppy seed muffin. So I am a little worried that maybe some of the sweetness will have transferred, and I apologize if it has.
That's amazing. I'm excited to find out. I doubt it, but I'll cover it with enough sriracha that you won't be able to taste anything. So,
all right.
But thank you for picking me up.
So we're going to watch 2009's Star Trek first, and then we're watching Star Trek Into Darkness. It's called, right? Both directed by J.J. Abrams. I've seen them both. Corey's only seen one of them, but I don't remember them very well. It's been years, and I don't remember what year Star Trek Into Darkness came out. We'll look that up in between. All right, we're going to do it. We got our breakfast. It's, marathon, double feature. Ready. Here we go. Wow. What a JJathon.
It was awesome.
We finished watching both 2009 Star Trek and 2013's Star Trek Into Darkness. Watching them back to back.
They're good back to back. It's just almost like a direct continuation.
And now it is storming outside also.
It's been hours, and now it's storming. It's an epic storm outside.
Let's actually show the viewers the exciting storm.
Hear it. Show them. The storm is coming.
All right, so that was exciting.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about and review these movies. We'll do the first one first. This 2009 J.J. Abrams Star Trek.
Yeah.
I liked that movie. I
liked it too. It was a lot of establishment. It was a lot of where did they come from? What makes them them, and how they meet each other.
It was an origin story. It was an origin story. We see Kirk's origin, we see Spock's origin, and their relationships, the whole focus of everything. And I was thinking about this because a lot of times, especially in superhero films, origin stories are overdone. You see them over and over, and we're getting kind of tired of them. Mm-hmm. But in Star Trek, it's cool because you don't really see that in Star Trek. Everyone just starts on the ship, so we've never seen young Kirk and young Spock, and it's cool to see that. I liked it. It felt different. It felt good.
I feel like it had a lot of good action sequences because it kind of I think the Romulans were in that one,
correct. The future Romulans were the villains, and they wanted Spock dead because he destroyed their planet in the future, and then it caused a new timeline. It's a pretty cool movie. I like it, and the casting is awesome. I think the whole cast is really great.
Yeah, the casting choices were really great. They had a lot of awesome people.
And Spock talking to Spock, that was great.
That was really nuts. It's always good to see old Nimoy. But now he's...
Corey told me a fun fact. You want to tell me the fact about
the guy who plays Spock can't...
Zachary Quinto.
He can't do this. He can't pull
do
his
the
hands
Vulcan
together.
salute.
And I don't know. So, but he only does it once in the first movie. And he's kind of like this. He's like... Argh. But it's because they glued his fingers together. They just glued them together because he couldn't do it. And he has to. He's Spock. It was funny. It's just it's like you look like Spock, you talk like him, you spent years with Nimoy training, and then it's but you just can't do this. It's kind of funny. But that was a little fun fact. Considering he's he's really good. He plays a very good Spock. So does Kirk. Sulu's fantastic. Even Chekhov is great. rest in peace.
Yeah, it was a well paced movie too,
Yeah.
and I felt into it like every scene, pretty much.
Into Darkness was it
Well,
was
let's do a review first.
Of the first
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So my favorite scenes. First of all, I just want to say this: favorite scenes were getting to see Sulu with his collapsible sword fighting on the drill. Like that was totally awesome. You know how much we love Sulu.
Yeah, and
seeing him get to do his fencing with his awesome future collapsible sword is so cool. Also loved. Oh, I loved that scene where Kirk is trying to communicate to Pike that it's the Romulans and not a storm, and he has to run onto the ship that he wasn't invited on to convince the captain to stop the plan. But he's also having an allergic reaction to the stuff that McCoy gave him, so he has these huge bloated hands, and he can't speak because his tongue's swelling too, and he's trying to it just added some fun humor to a stressful scene. It was one of my favorite scenes in the movie.
Yeah, they blended a lot of that humor and action for sure.
And I can see why a lot of people don't like these movies. They're kind of pretty much taking Star Trek, putting in big blockbusters. But if that's the concept, I think they did a good job. Yeah.
And I think I've seen a few of the original, Star Trek movies, and they are slower. That's their thing. They're slow, and it's okay because it was it was the 80s.
And there were a few scenes I got pretty emotional in the first one, especially when Spock's mom dies, when Kirk's dad dies, when Vulcan gets destroyed. Those moments, I felt those, but I would say Into Darkness didn't have any of that. Into Darkness, I didn't really ever get that emotional attachment that the first one gave me.
Yeah, I feel and considering it, you kind of knew what was going to happen.
Yeah.
Into Darkness, a lot of those emotional moments didn't really pack the punch. You learn a lot about the characters in the first one, and that makes a lot of what they go through just so intense. Their friendships build and strengthen, and there's a lot of sadness that has to happen between all of them. So it was.
I'm going to give the first one a 4 out of 5 lemon poppy seed muffins.
Cool.
What about you, Corey?
I'm going to give it a 4 as well. There are some things that 4 croissants.
Thank you.
I'm going to give it a 4 as well.
All right. Now, Into Darkness, you can already tell we weren't as into.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, didn't get those emotional moments. Apparently, I haven't seen Wrath of Khan yet, and I know that it is just kind of a remake of Wrath of Khan. I'm sure if I had seen Wrath of Khan first, I would probably like the movie less, because I know a lot of people don't like it. I mean, it wasn't. I don't think it was a bad movie. I still enjoyed it. It was just there were moments that I don't know, I wasn't that into, or kind of felt a little slow. But I guess it's all about Khan and their hunt. It's a manhunt for Khan. So what is kind of cool is they're dealing with the hunting Khan, but then also Kirk is getting betrayed by the other admiral or commander. I forget his name.
Yeah, Marcus or something like that. Marcus. Yeah, he betrays them. So that's kind of
the Klingons are in it. That part's
Klingons
really cool.
are in it. That is pretty cool.
And they have that. That was one of my favorite scenes when you first see Khan, and you can see how much of a badass he is, and he's jumping around, just taking out all these Klingons on his own. That scene's pretty cool. The scene with Spock and Khan fighting at the very end is really neat too.
That was really great. There were some good action parts, but a lot. It didn't really seem like it dragged as much as just a lot was happening, and some of the scenes were just a little long. When
there's almost too much action and too much.
Yeah, it would just be they would take the actiony scenes and just make them very, very long and very drawn out. It's we have to sneak onto the trader's ship, and it's how are we going to do that? We're going to shoot ourselves through space, and it's going to be intense, and it's it's cool, and it's the future. I mean, it was 2000, it's 2013. Movies that's how they are now. But it's the cool thing about Wrath of Khan following the motion picture is just yes, it still has that slow pacing, but the Enterprise and the crew gets put on a real test in Wrath of Khan, and they have to make a lot of pinnacle decisions, and it's a lot about Kirk literally just going up against with an unbeatable foe, and it's like that in this movie. But there's a lot of role reversal with Kirk and Spock. I guess to make it, you didn't expect that, but it is kind of the same thing at the end.
Oh, and there's a Tribble in this movie, which is kind of cool.
That was great.
It's a great cameo. They did a great job of that.
It is. He's like testing on it, and
they test Khan's blood on Tribble, which is how they learn Khan's blood can bring Kirk back to life when he sacrifices himself to save everyone.
So a Tribble saved the day.
Yeah,
it's real great.
I mean,
it's real great.
I don't know if it saved the day.
Oh, it did. Yeah. It saved. I mean, if it wasn't for that,
Sulu was the captain for a little bit. That was fun.
Yeah, Captain Sulu, and he's like, it's got a nice ring to it again, and then Star Trek.
There's one scene I did not like. It was towards the beginning when Khan first attacks them at Starfleet headquarters. When Kirk just ties a gun to a rope and then throws it, and he somehow takes out a helicopter just by tying a gun to a rope and throwing it.
Yeah,
it just seemed a little dumb.
To me, it made sense because that's what Kirk does. That's
just
a character trait. Yeah, he's like, I have a stick, I have a, and then it just solves the day. That's his character thing. But I'm
gonna give that one a. See, I think I would give it lower if I've already seen Wrath of Khan. So I think it's probably good. I didn't see Wrath of Khan yet, but I'm gonna give it a 3 out of 5. 3 out of 5 croissants.
Mm-hmm. I didn't hate it. That's the thing.
Yeah.
You following the first one.
The cast is good enough that it's all the characters are likable, and I'm kind of like.
That's how the sequel got made. It's because they made good decisions with the first one. The cast was really good, and it's carried it into a third one now. So
I'm excited to see that third one. By the way, we're gonna go next week, hopefully.
So I can't really hate on it. I'm gonna give it a 3. I can't give it a 2 because it wasn't horrendous.
Yeah.
But just some different decisions. I thought Uhura had a bigger role too in the second one, which I kind of liked. In the first one, she's just there and
yeah,
I love Spock, and it's like
she kind of beams down and saves him.
She kind of does a lot more spontaneous, cool, in the moment things in the second one. And I like when the ship loses it's kind of just floating, it's falling to Earth, and they're all falling around.
Of it. Yeah.
But again, it kind of goes on the fact that it's they just kind of milked those action scenes for a long time.
Yeah.
So that movie's 2 hours, I'm pretty sure. So it's quite long. But all the Star Trek movies.
Yeah. So we both agree. We give both the second one a 3, the first one 4.
Yeah. I think that's good.
Enjoyed them. Excited to see the third one. All right. Well, that's all we have time for today.
Yeah.
Live long and prosper. Happy TREKFAST.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks for joining us.